Hello and welcome to another Game Nexus arcade video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown, released in 2010 on the Sega Lindbergh hardware. And as you notice, all of the characters from Virtua Fighter 5 have returned, with the addition of Taka Arashi and Jin Kudo, who were actually added in Virtua Fighter 5 R, which unfortunately is not in my multi-kit, and I've been unable to find an original disc at this point. Now, if you're wondering, the Knockout Trial Special and the Score Attack is like your regular arcade mode, whereas Knockout Trial has all these custom characters and a couple cool extra things.
I'll give it 100%.
And of course, as you see here, I've picked Taka Arashi. And if you remember my Virtua Fighter 3 team battle video, or even the original Virtua Fighter 3 video, his fighting style is fairly similar. They've added a couple moves here and there, of course. Now, this game was supported in the arcade between 2010 and 2015, so it actually had a good 5 years of support, until Sega finally stopped supporting Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown. But one thing you'll notice in this mode is similar to Tekken Tag Tournament 2 Unlimited on my System 369 board. A lot of the characters will have like custom stuff added to them, which is really cool to see. And of course, if you notice on the right side there how it has all that text and everything, that means that it's a custom character. On occasion here, you'll actually see a character who was just plain old vanilla. Like, I remember a few times I played it, like, there was a regular Jackie or a regular Sarah. It just seems like absolutely random, like, yeah, going back to what I had said a few minutes ago, just like playing the Tekken Tag Tournament 2 Unlimited board, sometimes you'll get a regular character, but a lot of times you'll get like one with all kinds of cool additions, like you'd be able to get back when the online servers for this game were online, and you could go to the VF terminal and customize your character. And if you look on the screen there, it's saying that network is disabled.
You'd better take me seriously. Round one.
It was saying up in the corner there, saying that network is disabled. The top left corner, I know, is saying the terminal that you would watch this on, which is the little camera icon, that's disabled, because of course all I have is a Lindbergh unit hooked to a TV. I don't have the really impressive setup that they would have this in some of the Japanese arcades, where there'd be like 3 or 4 machines. Then there would be like a VF terminal, which when somebody wasn't using it, I believe what would happen, it would show the match as like a spectator thing, which is what that camera would signify, which is really cool. I know Tekken 5 actually had the same thing, where they would have a viewing terminal where you could just view the match if you didn't want to participate.
Round one.
And the way that you knew that you ended up with a version of Tekken that was the one that you just viewed it, is instead of being like TED 5, it would be like, it would have an L, which means it was the live terminal version, which means you just watch the game attached to another unit, which is what this game did too, is it would have a version just for watching, so it'd just be the terminal that would let you watch the game if you wanted to be a spectator and not have to stand over somebody's shoulder, which is a really cool concept in my opinion. And I remember one of Sega's, either Virtual Racing or Virtual Formula, actually had that option as well, where they could have a third or fourth screen, depending on how many players were in the game, that would just be a watch terminal.
Good discipline. Come in.
The big-time player is here.
Round one.
And now this is the sumo ring, which is actually Taka Arashi's stage, which is that music that you heard in the beginning of the video here. Now this game was released on July 29th of 2010 in Japan arcades. And it used the Lindbergh Silver hardware, which was the terminal system, because, as I said, just like you saw in those videos, you'd have several cabinets that would be linked. Each cabinet would be one player apiece, and therefore you wouldn't have to share a screen with anybody. And now I know I say this every time I see a game where there are spectators, but the one thing...
Are you ready for this?
The one thing I was going to say is that the Sumo Arena reminded me of is the Dead or Alive 3, how they had the spectators in the background. And then there was even Dead or Alive 4 and some other games which did a similar thing where there was spectators in the background. I always thought that was kind of a cool touch, like you felt like this was a bit bigger than just a game. You feel like you're really in an arena. Now, the only versions of this that got released were downloadable versions for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Now, on PlayStation 3, it looks like
What are you waiting for? Come get some.
Round one.
Now I could remember when I first saw that Mask of El Blaze, I thought it was the creepiest thing I've ever seen of his, because it kind of like moves by itself and everything. It's not like just a stationary wrestling mask like he'd always wear. Now what I was saying was, the versions for download for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 got released on June 6th of 2012. And in some countries, June 5th of 2012, all around the world for both Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. But unfortunately, for people like myself who are fans of physical media, it only got released as a Xbox Live Arcade / PlayStation Network game. So there was no hard copy of Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown for the home. And it goes without saying that this game just looks so great. And now, as I was saying, you'll see this is a fairly vanilla-looking Shun-Di, except for a little bit of a color change. I think this costume would be yellow or green, and they turned it blue, it looks like. What's really cool is, like, you'll see some really cool customizations, just like in Tekken Tag 2 Unlimited. There's one version I saw, a lei-fei, the monk, and he actually had a Dreamcast on his back, which I thought was really cool, that they did a callback to their last actual home game console that way. And how they had released this game is, it actually got released in a like a bare bones regular version, which would have cost you a certain amount of money. And then there was all kinds of downloadable content that would add all kinds of costumes and add-ons. But eventually what they would do is release what was called the Complete Edition, which had the game and all the downloadable content. And in America, that got released for $30, whereas the standard version of the game when it first came out was $15. But for $30, you would get the game and all the downloadable content. So it was kind of a cool deal that you would get all that content which I think was like 20 or so downloadable content packs that included everything. And if you're wondering why there was a bit of a jump cut before that match, I actually lost a couple times to Shundi, so I cut my losses out. Oh, and there's the Dreamcast that I just mentioned. It's actually on Go's back here. Because I know I had seen a lei-fei with the Dreamcast on its back, and I remember when I first saw it, I was like, wow, that's really cool. I always love when they have like references in that way. And the funny thing is, I actually once saw a old post where somebody released the it was an old post from an arcade forum where somebody was actually selling the whole terminal set up with, I think it had like 3 machines and the terminal, but unfortunately there weren't any Lindberghs or software in it, so I was thinking to myself, yeah, that'd be kind of cool to have, but it wouldn't be as great as the whole deal.
Outlaw, come in. Let's see if you can walk the walk.
Now, I've actually played this knockout trial mode a few times, and it's always Jackie wearing that costume, but if you saw that very beginning, there was a female character who looks like it probably would be Sarah Bryan, and there was a male character who I'm guessing could be Kage or just about any other of the male characters except for Jackie. So I'm really wondering if you actually end up facing one of those other 2 characters eventually, but I've just never seen it happen. And of course, it goes without saying, as I had mentioned before, is that those 2 little things on the bottom are the card readers. They're just not active, so they just have a cross over them. I believe in Tekken 5, they just wouldn't appear. It wouldn't have an X over them like that. They would just not be there. Whereas in this game, I looked all through the test mode with hopes to be able to find a way to disable the card readers and actually get that whole bar off there, but there was absolutely no way to get rid of that at all. So, unfortunately, you just have to deal with it if you're running a Lindbergh with this game on it. And now I can honestly tell you, I don't know what the grenade means on there. Maybe something happens if you don't defeat him fast enough. Now you probably didn't notice it because it was a quick jump cut, but I did lose to Jackie a few times, and I can tell you I've only had a few playthroughs of Knockout Trial Special where I don't have a loss to that last character, because it always seems like their AI is like tuned up so much compared to other times I've played. And of course, in this credit sequence, you can see all the characters who are actually in this game in like a CG form, so it's a really cool looking thing. But yeah, I can go without saying here that Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown is definitely a great version of this game. And if you've never played it, and either A, you have an arcade by you, or, like me, you have a Lindbergh with a multi-kit, it'd be a great game to play. But of course, if you just played on the PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360, it's pretty much just as good. But yeah, I would highly recommend it. And actually, it was Jin Kujo, not Kudo. I don't know why I thought it was that. But it's not like I've actually had too much touch time with this game as opposed to the original version. But I would highly recommend giving Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown a try. And I will probably be showing a few more videos of this game. It's a really great game, and I highly recommend it. Well, this has been another Game Nexus arcade video, and I shall see you later. Bye!